Hey everyone, it's Dustin with TechMD. Today we're coming at you with an LG G8X. Yeah, don't get me on those stupid names, Thin Q, because, you know, why not? Maybe that's why they went out of business, because they had crappy names. Great inventions, but yeah. Anyways, you can buy the parts in the link in the description, and they are available. You can buy it with the frame or without the frame. Today we are going to be showing you without the frame, okay? So this is what the part looks like, and you certainly want to pull it out, and we're going to test it here as soon as we can. Please watch all the video before doing this repair. This is my first time doing this particular phone. I've done G8s before, but just a heads up. You're going to be recommended to use an iFlex tool and iPlastix tool to open that up, iseasmo tool, and probably some 00 screwdriver. I recommend the grip tool. You can buy that in the link in the description. So the next step is you're going to put it on the heater. I use a pad for 5 minutes to get it nice and warm to separate that back glass. So this is the heater I use. I put it at 120 degrees Celsius, BST 928, and I just put flat back on the glass to warm that up. So the next step is you want to put some gloves on, or a rag. Put flat down. You're going to initially enter in with your tool here, and then you're going to take your iPlastix tool and enter it in right there. Now this may come up a little easier because I've already removed this. I thought it was a LG G8, but we're going to go ahead and just run our tool along the side here, and there is going to be adhesive underneath that can be a little aggressive, and it's hard to show you because this phone is so hot without moving my hands in the way. Even after removing it, it's still difficult to remove. This phone is just so glued on. So once you cut all that glue all around with that iPlastix tool, you can pop this up and just put this back on your heater. Let that sit over the whole period of time while we're working on this phone. All right. So in order to test this, the cable goes right through here. So we're gonna make sure we unscrew all the screws. I like to keep my screws specially organized on a blue mat over here. Highly recommend using it. I'm actually on the blue mat right now, but currently we're using a white piece of paper for a better picture. These are just 00 screws that we're removing. Okay, now we're going to get our iseasmo tool and open this up. You don't want to hit the motherboard with this, so just go right along the edge and twist up. Your phone should be fairly hot still, which is good. And this is where you would test the new screen. Just plug it in right here and test it once it's cooled down. But we're not going to do that. Just going to disconnect the battery and go ahead and remove the screen. I'll show you a different way of testing it. Mind you though, once you rip off your screen and you only have one screen, that's what it is. So just a heads up there. I'm going to let that sit there for about 5 minutes and warm up. Actually, since it's already pretty hot, maybe even 3 minutes, but between 3 to 5 minutes, you want to get it hot to the touch and separate that back or that front screen. So I'll show you guys here in a second. All right, now that we got it warmed up here, take our rag, put it on the other side here. We're gonna start separating it. You want to cut between the glass and the plastic frame. Yeah, it has that overhead ring light now, reflecting off of the foam.
Okay,
that's gonna look terrible.
it is.
Okay, so now that you've cut the glass off the unit, you do not want to touch that fingerprint sensor reader. And we're going to clean up everything here. Be careful of your plastic frame, it's very delicate, you don't want to damage it. It's the plastic that's around the metal. This is your rubberized ear speaker. Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. Jeez. Set that aside. All the glue, guys. I don't know why that keeps on getting stuck to that paper. That's weird. Oh, it's glue underneath. Duh. My mat, it won't get stuck to the mat. With this piece of paper, it will. I switched up filming techniques to hopefully make it look better for you guys. So then next thing is you want to analyze the frame, get rid of any extra glass with your fingers, tools, whatever you can. Look at it under some good light, make sure it's perfectly clean. You want to make sure you clean your area, guys, so that way when you put a new screen on, you're not going to damage anything. Wait for your phone to cool off if it's still warm after taking off the screen. Take some alcohol if you can and wipe it down. Don't touch that front camera or that fingerprint reader. Just wipe it clean. Don't touch the front camera either. I'm just using 99% alcohol for the cleaner. You don't have to use this, but having a nice clean frame will help that new screen sit down properly. Okay, now before installing this and sticking it down, we're gonna just put it down temporarily. And what that means is just stick it through the hole with no glue anywhere. Plug this in very carefully. You don't want to put pressure on that screen if it's not sitting in there properly. Once you glue this down, you pretty much can't return it. It's very hard to remove them without breaking them. So you definitely want to test. You might have to press down on this piece here to get the board to connect to the power connector. Usually that's the whole point of the plate. The plate sits down and you screw it down and then it pushes the plate together. So obviously you want to test and make sure everything's functioning here. So log in with the passcode, everything you need to do. And then you unlock it and test it, guys. That's it. So, looks good to me, but I can't really test it because I don't have the customer's information. And you can't turn it off without unlocking it because phones do that. I don't know where those pieces of glass came from, but make sure you get all the piece of glass out of the phone. I think there's some on the back for whatever reason. Some got stuck. Okay, next is our ear mesh. I'm gonna clean that out. Alcohol would be great. So I'm just gonna spray some alcohol. Just get that nice and clean. I use a rag or a spray on alcohol, but if you have 70% or better for this project, it's going to be just fine. I use 99 because it dries fast. Usually the dirt comes out pretty well, but on this particular mesh, it's not. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry off, that ear mesh, and then I'm gonna put the glue on now. So I like to use T7000 glue if you need lots of it. On this one you don't, so just going to use a very fine coat. Just a very fine coat right here. You don't want to get in the camera or the ear speaker mesh. And then just squeeze, 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 and go at a certain speed in order to get a nice even amount on there. It's okay to get extra on there, it's not a problem. All you have to do is wipe it down when it's done. Get a little down here, that's fine, just don't get any on the cameras. That's it, guys. Doesn't have to be perfect, but try to get a nice low line if you can. Okay. Next step is we're going to take off this piece here and this piece. Had a piece of glass on there, so I took it off camera. That's your fingerprint reader. You do not want to touch that. I'm gonna take off the front plastic glass, or can't think of the word. Screen protector. Jeez. Stick our ear mesh down without getting it into the glue. Okay. There's one more piece of plastic covering the front camera there. Weave it through. Just jiggle it back and forth. Check your alignment. Clearly I did not do that right with this ear mesh on backwards. Just lesson learned. You guys don't have to learn that lesson. This way. You would think it's the other way, but nope. This way. If it pops up, it's not a problem. We can fix the alignment later. Okay, you want to make sure this sits nice and flush. Don't press too hard because you might have broke something. So flush sits right, or not, you might have left a piece of glass is what I meant, sorry. If it doesn't want to sit flush still, then you might have a bent frame and you might want to be ordering a new frame. And that's what you should be checking for before gluing it down, is making sure it'll sit flush. Check your ear speaker, make sure it's sitting right. Mine is not yet. Just trying to adjust the mesh a little bit so it's not recessed in. It kind of sits under there anyway, so it does look recessed in. Doesn't sit flush exactly the way I was thinking. Make sure there's no glass shards. You can put your piece of plastic back on to protect it against scratches and stuff. Okay, let's plug your cable in. One more test. Test it, turn it on, make sure it works. You can still remove this if it doesn't work carefully. With some heat, just like I just showed you guys. But once it starts really starting to harden, it's really hard to take it off. That usually takes about 2 to 3 minutes. So just test to make sure it's working. And put your back cover on. You can remove all this old adhesive if you want, or just leave it on, which I leave it on. If you do remove it and put it all fresh adhesive, use T7000, especially if you damaged all your adhesive, but for the most part, it's all there, so it'll be able to stick well. Yeah, that's been an interesting one for sure. I'm a little irritated right now because it's so blasted hot where I'm at. But I hope these new videos you guys like, and more of these videos coming in the future that are detailed, and also better lighting hopefully, and you know, the white backgrounds. I'm trying to make these videos super high quality for you guys to enjoy watching. Anyways, if you guys can like and subscribe, that would be great. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.